So like we said, welcome all to today's eCooking Community of Practice Dialogue. We are going to be focusing on repair and maintenance for electric cooking appliances. And so first of all, for the people who are new, who are joining us for the first time, the eCooking Community of Practice is usually co-convened by GAMOS East Africa, Kenya Power, and then Clean Cooking Association of Kenya, that is CCK, and African Center for Technology Studies, and we are supported under the MECS program. So we do normally host monthly dialogues, and also we convene a WhatsApp group that has over 481 members who are mostly stakeholders who are in the clean cooking sector and electricity cooking access. And we do hope to bring these stakeholders together to explore the emerging opportunities within the e-cooking space. So yeah, for today's dialogue, which is focusing on repair and maintenance, we've noticed that as we continue to push and advocate for uptake of cooking with electricity, both locally and internationally, the electric appliances, we have also continued to encourage people to purchase these electric cooking appliances, which have become very essential for households and institutions that we're working with. And we've noticed that like other electronic appliances, these appliances that can experience problems over time and even as soon as they are bought. And we've noticed that a number of consumers within the sector, and especially that we've worked with, and entrepreneurs and even distributors in the space, have been able to experience some challenges with regards to breakdown. And so we thought that having this conversation today is going to be very crucial for each stakeholders, as we're going to be able to learn on how we can manage these appliances, how we can maintain them so that they work efficiently. And in case they are broken down, where can we seek repair and maintenance services? And what exactly are we looking at to repair when these appliances break down? So for today's webinar, we are going to be having Mr. Biraj. Mr. Biraj, who is a strength specialist and a CEO of People, Energy and Environment Development Association. So Mr. Biraj is going to is an experienced and energy environment specialist with extensive involvement in rural energy services. He's worked in research and development of energy technologies, project implementation, and he has also worked on various projects in Nepal, India, Bhutan, and the US, primarily focusing on renewable energy projects in Nepal. So his career began in 2008 as an environmental officer for PEEDA, working on Propua hydro projects, and he has since led initiatives such as feasibility studies for low-head pico hydro technologies, research on low-head turbine systems, and community electrification projects. He's collaborated with experts and students from Duke University and University of North Carolina, and he has contributed to conceptualizing rural economic zones based on decentralized energy systems. He holds masters in environmental science from Tribhuvan University and is a professional leadership credit from George Mason University, USA. So for this session, Mr. Biraj is going to be our first presenter today, and is going to take us through a study that they did in collaboration with MECS on repair and maintenance. And then later on, we'll also have another presenter whom I'll want to introduce after when his session comes. So for now, I'll give Mr. Biraj the floor to take us through his presentation.
Sorry. Thank you, Cyprus, for the nice introduction. So maybe I need to update a little bit on my bio. And also thank you, MECS team, for giving me this opportunity to share. Sorry. To share some of our experiences. Good afternoon, everyone. I am Biraj Gautam. So I work with People Energy and Environment Development Association, an NGO based in Nepal. So today, in next 20-25 minutes, I'll be sharing some of our experiences from Nepal on electric cooking sector. So next slide, please. Okay. In my presentation, I will be mostly sharing about some of the snapshot what we do in PEEDA and a little bit of electric cooking sector in Nepal and some of our research findings from the after sales service research and what we did on the research findings and some of our learnings from the post-sale service. So those are the few of the things I'll be sharing in my presentation today. Next slide, please. Yeah, I take this opportunity to introduce my organization. I work with this People, Energy and Environment Development Association, short we say PEEDA. So this is an NGO based in Kathmandu, Nepal. We were established in 1997. So when in the beginning we were mostly working on the rural electrification. So
nisaidie kwa earphones zangu sijui nilipeleka wapi.
Dorothy, please mute your microphone. Proceed, Biraj.
Yes, sorry for inconvenience. Yeah, so we were focusing on the renewable energy sector. So in the sector beginning, we were mostly working in the micro hydro projects. So those were the most prominent technology in Nepal because we are inland, we are like mountainous countries, and hydro is most hydropower is the uh, most available technology during that time. And after that, we started working in different renewable energy technologies. Mostly our focus was in the renewable energy technology services. And when we were working, and so there was some of the energy access targets were achieved, then we started working on electric cooking. So mostly our work includes institutional developments, grassroots participation, research, and policy lobbying. So our work mostly focus in the rural areas of Nepal. Thank you. And next slide, please. So in the next slide, so I'll be a little bit discussing about what is doing the PEEDA. So we started our electric cooking work back in 2018. So John Larry was there when we started our electric cooking. So we just met randomly and started discussing. In the initial phase, what we did, so we collected all the available electric cooking technology available in the Kathmandu, and also we imported a couple of technologies from China. So then we did a little bit research in the laboratory that we set up during that time for the to understand different types of electric cooking technology back in 2018. So then based on our lab research, we started doing the field research. Uh, so in the beginning, we started field research with some of our fundings from the Cabot Foundation, and then we started our collaboration with MECS. So with the support from technical and financial support of MEX, we started working on different uh, working research in the community scale research, where we studied different types of research like uh, behavior things, motivations, interference between electric cooking and grid, and a lot of things we did. And so then we started integrating support, like starting with municipal energy planning, then integrating the electric cooking and them, and also doing lots of electric cooking in the off-grid micro hydro projects, schools. Now we are doing in the restaurants, businesses, and more institutions. So apart from that, we do develop different knowledge products based on our research, lab and field research, and also we do share and for the advocacy and knowledge. So in the policy side, we work with the government. Some of our recommendations were appreciated by the federal government. For example, they have included this after-sales services in the NDC implementation plan. That is one of the, and NDC implementation plan has highlighted the need of the after-sales service to achieve the Nepal's electric cooking targets. And also we do some institutional development work. Next slide, please. So this is some of the achievements we have done, like more than 1,000 households we have supported directly. More than 4,000 households, they know what is electric cooking because of our interventions. We have implemented electric cooking in 80 schools, and there are more schools in pipeline. We started training more repair and maintenance technicians. Until now, we have supported 14 training to have a repair and maintenance training. Similarly, we have developed e-cookbook for Nepal, so that was inspired from the Kenya e-cookbook. And also have developed some protocols for the off-grid micro-hydro community electric cooking, and also doing lots of research with the collaboration. So many of our works was done with the collaboration with MECS, and we are also continuing our work. And with MECS, we are now more focusing on our research on the ecosystem building in the electric cooking sector. Next slide, please. So Nepal has one of the very big favorable policy environment, and also because more than 93% of the households has direct access to national grid, and also another 5% households has electricity access to off grid. That's why we have good electricity access and also very good policy environment. But until 2021, less than 1% of households were using electricity for their cooking as a primary mode of stoves. But government has targeted to reach out to at least 10-25% households by 2030 as a electricity as a primary source of cooking fuel. And also we have another target in SDG, Sustainable Development Goals, where we want to cap the use of LPG below 40%. The 2021 data has already shown like 44% households use LPG as a primary cooking fuel, but we want to reduce that to below 40%. To achieve our targets, various local government, local and international organizations are active in promoting electric cooking in Nepal. One of the flagship project is from the government of Nepal, supported by Global Climate Fund. So we target supporting 500,000 households by next 5 years, adopting the electric cooking. So, so when we start working and there are lots of households receiving electric cooking, the lack of local after-sales service has been found as a key challenge to upskilling. Next slide, please. So mostly the factors that is hindering the repairing in rural projects. So most of the repair centers in Nepal are located in the major 3 cities that hardly caters 10 to 15% of population. So other areas, so they lack the repair and maintenance facility in those areas. In some of the peri-urban areas, the repair centers do the repair and maintenance in the trial basis. Sometimes it works and sometimes it does not. So, so that's why the users were from or peri-urban and also like some of the urban locations, not that much highly populated areas, also don't know where to take their stoves after they broke. And also in some of the cases, if there are like some repair centers, they lack the access to spare parts. So all of these factors make the repair unaffordable to the users. That's like one of the great challenges we found. For example, in one of the cases, we saw like people are paying $10-15 to repair one time. So whereas the cost price of induction stoves is around $40 in Nepal. So that's like sometimes it is becoming more and more unaffordable. Next slide, please. So the unavailability of the local repair services has a tremendous negative effect because so always whenever we promote electric stoves, our main aim is to use rather than the initial distribution, because the use is the most important part in the electric cooking. So in some of the cases within our survey area, what we saw is households have reduced the frequency of stove use and also refrained from the experimenting with different dishes on electric stoves due to fear of damaging the stoves. So this has, ultimately forced households to switch back to the traditional stoves and firewood. That's quite sad. And in many cases, because these stoves were not repaired on time, so they were piling the electric waste in the households. So that's the situation. Next slide, please. So within this background, so I'll show you a little bit data from what we find from our local after-sales service research that we did. MECS and PEEDA partnered to do this, and so Richard and all of us we engaged during that research. Next slide, please. So in this research, so all the households we have chosen had used the electric stoves for more than 18 months. To be fair, 18 months to 24 months of duration. So in our research, we surveyed the households from different areas. Many of the households we collected from one municipality, and other households we collected through our partner organizations who implemented MECS Eco Challenge Fund in different locations. So all these data came from Nepal, and also we collected some data from Tanzania. SESCOM happily provided us some of the information. So in our research, we 212 households, we contacted 212 households who were using electric pressure cookers, and 172 households who were using induction stoves. Apart from surveying the households, we also did the key informant interviews with the repair centers in Nepal, so who were mostly supporting repair to the broken electric stoves. Next slide, please. So in this slide, you can see there are we collected data from different organizations for the electric pressure cooker. So altogether, we collected from 212 households, and out of that, 71 households reported some kind of issues. So within the first 24 months of use, 71 issues were reported in the electric pressure cookers. So, and the issue were different in different branded electric pressure cooker. You can see here data, some of the pressure cookers. Some of the brands had more broken frequency than others. So if you see in the right hand side, so there are like a few different types of issues reported. Some of the issues were EPC that do not turn out, inner port not heating, and faulty power cord. Some of the less critical issues were loss of coating on the inner port. So most all of the electric pressure cooker we have promoted in Nepal has aluminum inner pot, so it has some coating inside it. And also some of the electric pressure cooker had problem not turning the display on after use of some time. So it doesn't hamper that much with the cooking, because it's still there is heating and cooking happens, but we cannot see the timing and other things. So similar problems were also reported by the repair centers in capital city. Next slide, please. So similar, we also so similar situation we saw in the induction stoves as well. In the induction stoves, only one parts had the most breakage problems. That is called IGBT. It mostly controls the heat, flow of electrons and all those things. So in 90% cases, that IGBT breaks out. So that can be broken from different regions, like might be so here fan is not working. Sometimes short circuit is happening because of the insects like cockroach and other things. Sometimes like quality issues and all these things. The reliability and durability of electric pressure cookers induction stoves were almost similar. We found that. Next slide, please. So then we also asked the households like what they did when their electric stoves were broken. Most of the households did nothing because there was no local repair centers were available. In some of the cases, for example, in the left-hand side, so there are few households with where PEEDA were working initially and with whom we also supported fixing the electric stoves, but otherwise, like they did not do anything. And another thing we found is free distribution of e-cooking appliances and no provision of after-sales service are directly correlated with the lower use of repair. So that's also one of the findings we had. Next slide, please. So after doing the research, then what did we do? That's I'll discuss a little bit on that in the next section. Please, next slide, please, suppose. So after doing this research, we created the repair inventory, as I said earlier. So we went to uh, more than 350 households who had different issues with their stocks. We created inventory based on that. We also created inventory based on the key informant interview. So we contacted the repair experts from the existing brand repair shops and also other Kathmandu-based individual repairer. So we created the inventory. Based on that inventory, we drafted the repair training module and repair manual, which so module is basically the kind of syllabus for the training, and also manual is like the instructive guideline. So that draft, based on this module and manual, we tested that drafted module and manual with the training in the South Lalitpur, like 60 kilometers away from the Kathmandu city center. And also we collected feedback from them as well on the module and the manual. So based on all these feedbacks, we finalized the repair module and repair manual, so that we have been utilizing on the providing training in other local labels, that other organizations are also started using these repair modules and repair manuals in their trainings. So in the next step, so we are thinking to reach out to many locations, many communities. We need to institutionalize these repair and maintenance. That's what we'll be working in the next steps. Next slide, please. So while developing these repair training modules, we also had some surveys, and the training institute lacked proper training modules or manuals, relying mostly on the trainer's experience. Also, vocational institute only offered repair training for traditional electric appliances. Not they do not have included induction stoves and electric pressure cookers in their training syllabus. So that's why the training modules we have developed was developed, as I said earlier, uh, in coordination with the vocational institute, and also we have taken feedback from the various experts like repair experts, electric cooking practitioners in Kathmandu, faculty from the vocational institutes, and also team at the MECS. So all of us, we jointly worked to finalize these modules and manuals. So there are two versions of training modules we have proposed. So I'll discuss more on this in the next slide. Next slide, please. Yes. So maybe we cannot see here, but we have like three kind of people who might be the prospective trainee. One, those people who have never gone through the electrical and electronic trainings or something like that. So they are the not skilled people or not technical people. Another type of people are like who completed some sort of electrical and electronic training but do not have any working experience. And another, there are type of people who attended the basic electrical and electronic training and also have been doing some sort of repair and maintenance things on different electrical appliances. So for these three types of people, so for the first type of people who never attended any training, so for those we had suggested they should first attend basic electrical and electronic training that normally this training institute provide, because it has been very long time that we have been using different electrical devices. That's why those kind of trainings are already available. Once these people take the training, basic electrical and electrical training, then so they are equivalent to second type of people. For this kind of people, we have proposed 5 days version of training. In 5 days version of training, we have proposed uh, 10 hours, 6 hours. We have proposed 6 hours of theoretical classes and 24 hours of practical classes. For those people who have already some experiences repairing electrical devices, for them we have proposed 2 days, 2 to 3 days, mostly 2 days of training, in which 2 hours there will be 2 hours of practical theoretical session and 10 hours of practical sessions. That's how we have drafted these training modules. Next slide, please. So in that, after this training module, so for the easy reference, we have also developed this repair manual. This repair manual can be utilized by those fresh, training who got the electric stoves repair training, and also those people who are running the electrical appliances repair centers. If these people also can use this repair manual, and also these repair manuals can be handy for those practitioners who are promoting electric cooking to understand the like parts and other things. In this repair manual, we have so drafted different kind of, like, we have, there is a section where we have tried to give in different tools required to repair the electric stoves. Basically, we have two kind of repair manual. One is for induction stove, and another is for electric pressure cooker. And in next section, we have uh, we are trying to familiarize the reader with the parts of the stoves. And then in next section, we have highlighted the precautionary measures that they need to do before the training. And in next section, we have this component testing things and also troubleshooting, and either course how to troubleshoot the different errors that occur in the electric stores. These are the some of the pictures. Maybe Cyprus, you can go through the pictures. Some of the pictures, like these pictures is taken a few weeks back, so where we have like trainees engaged in practical tool and equipment handling. So like how to handle the different tools and other things for the phrase trainees. So in this training, we had 10 participants coming from different backgrounds. Some have had good experience and some have had only basic training taken. And we also emphasize mutual learning and skill development so that people feel easy while learning. So it was a 3 days training, and we had very good response from the respondents.
12:30, bado 1 hour.
Please
Next slide,
mute.
please. So, so we also trying to empower training from different backgrounds, and so try to make like more collaborative way of training in this section, and it was quite useful way of training, setting up the training. So then after having, these different trainings, after the modules and discussing with different stakeholders, we see like in the repair sectors. So there are like two different types of things we have been thinking about. One is short term. In the short term, we have developed some of the trainer. So who couple of trainers, let's say couple of trainers who can go to different places and train the trainee. But this is like very short term because when we are thinking the large geographical coverage, this won't work. So that's why we see like we need to we need to institutionalize the training modules and manuals in the vocational training institute, so that so in this vocational training institute are widely spreaded throughout the country in Nepal especially. And when we embed the module in the syllabus, then it can be they can train anytime anywhere. So that's the one thing. And for the short term, training, we are also, we are also connecting the trainer and trainee through the WhatsApp and other medias, so that when there is a problem, when the trainee go back and start special repairing, then they can get the quick support from the experts. And also one of the problem we have seen is the uh, spare parts, because spare parts is not available everywhere, because it's also chicken and egg problem. So there is less demand, and then less supply system. So that's why we have also listed the spare parts supplier, so who then get connected with the repair centers, then who can directly contact and exchange the repair parts. So another thing is like until now in Nepal, the authorized uh, stove sellers, they don't allow anyone to repair the stoves during the warranty period. So we are also working, how do we um, how do we make a situation when these kind of people can also repair the system during the warranty period and still claim the cost with the technology suppliers. That's also another thing we have been working with. Right. Next slide, please. So in the learning, these are the quite common learning. So maybe most of us we agree with these things, because uh, uh, these stoves can break within a first week or first month or any time. So this breakage can happen because of the manufacturing default, manufacturing problem, or the electricity quality, or the um, bad handling or something like that. But one thing is very problematic is this kind of negative messages flow quickly, and which may hamper our goal of promoting electric cooking. That's why the local repair facility is very important. And also another thing we saw was the compromises by the users. So confidence and reducing e-cooking use, while they likely exacerbating also Nepal's growth in e-waste. So as I said earlier, so our aspiration is reach out to all the households. We don't know when, but because of our energy generation potential, and also 100% dependent on the imported LPG. So we are more looking forward to improve our cooking in the electricity. So when we grow and grow and grow and bigger, so the repair and durability is very much important issue for us. Next slide, please. So that's why next slide, please. That's why when we start learning, so we see these are the few things are very important. One is the procurement. As I showed you earlier, out of 212 systems, so there were 71 uh, incidents of the uh, issues in the EPC. And in that 71 issues, 50% was from single brand. So that's why the good procurement of good quality product is very important. That's what we see, and we are also trying to apply this in our procurement as well. And because, as I said, like spare parts is also very problem, because chicken egg situation. There are not all the spare parts available in the market and all those things. That's why we see like the companies should also buy some of the important spare parts when they buy they import these stuffs. And also we can also ask this training whenever we give the training, they start preparing the some type of database. So what kind of issue they faced and what kind of repair they did. Based on those information collected from many repair centers, we can also make a most frequent breakage things, and in that case we can uh, we can make a good chunk of spare parts available. So that is one thing. And another thing what I saw is so when the stoves don't work completely, we also encourage these repair centers to take out some of the usable spare parts and keep that with them. So that also helps to with the limited supply of spare parts. So local we see the as I also said earlier. So we repair centers are very important, and we need to work continuously on that. And to maintain the repair standard and widespread reach out to the repair training and materials should be institutionalized. So in that case, like what I wanted to share is, so in the past 1 year, maybe 10, 15 different kinds of 10, 15 different trainings were organized in Nepal by different organizations, including PEEDA and other organizations. But we did it in our way. So that means there is no standard, training facility. That's why also we see like institutionalization of repair and maintenance is quite important to keep some sort of a standard, and also make a more effective training. So that's what that's some of the learnings I wanted to share here. Next slide, please. This slide is next slide is my last slide. So here I quickly share you. Kipros, next slide, please.
Yeah, I'm on the next slide. It isn't
Okay,
showing
so
from your side.
yeah, maybe so. Can other people see the next slide or?
No, I'm still on the learning one with the 4 bullets.
Oh, okay. Let me do it again. Are you able to see it now?
To change. Maybe unshare and share again.
Yeah, I think that should be the issue. Okay, give me a minute.
So in the next slide, I actually wanted to share like what is the next step for us, and also what we wanted from the participants, or like people who are engaged in the electric cooking can do. The process
Still not
still,
showing?
yeah, still not showing.
Oh, that's very interesting. Give me.
Yes, yes, now I
Yeah,
can
it
see.
should show now. Okay. Yeah. Sorry
So
about
this
that.
is yeah, so technology sometimes does not work. So in this slide, I just wanted to share like these repair training module and repair manuals are open source materials. These are available in MECS website. We encourage everyone to look at it, and if it is helpful, we uh, so please use it. So you can also make edits or anything like you want it. So if there will be any help needed from outside, we are always available to do that. So for example, we have already translated this English version of manuals and modules in Nepali language, which we and also other organizations in Nepal have started, using those materials for in their training, and we have good responses from them. So it has been very helpful for them. So that's what I wanted to say with all the people here today. And also in PEEDA side, so MECS and PEEDA is working to work further on these things, and we'll be working with technical institutes, technical education and vocational training institutes to embed the repair in the course materials. So that things will be doing next step. And also we are also discussing to develop some of the important videos, the videos that we can keep those things in the YouTube, and the repairer can use to do their repairs. We hope this will support consumers get the most out of their appliances. So this is what the next step is. So next slide is my last slide. So that's the only I wanted to next slide, please.
Yeah, I've moved to the next. I
Yeah.
think my internet will be slow, but yeah.
Okay, so
I'll move
next
the
slide is
slide
only
and
like I wanted to highlight the local repairing services, very essential for sustaining the electric cooking. So that's what I wanted to say, because distribution. So in the electric stoves, distribution does not work. So the main thing, it works with the use of these stoves. That's why how do we create that environment where the people can use their stoves throughout the time, throughout the year, even they have problems, then they are fixed very soon. So that's why it is very important, we think, and we also would like to hear from you if you have any suggestions about how do we, how do we best promote the repairs in our cultural environments. So that will be very wonderful to hear from you as well. Thank you very much. That's the end of my presentation.
yeah, thank you, Biraj, for that wonderful presentation. As I've written on the chat, if you have any questions, please post them there, or you can hold for the next session to ask your question. In the meantime, we are going to have our second presenter. Let me just share his details as well. So we are going to have Mr. George Ayoma. George Ayoma is from Ramogi Institute of Advanced Technology. He's going to be presenting on give us an in-depth overview of a comprehensive course that they developed on repair and maintenance. I will provide some insights on how the curriculum looks like, some of the innovative teaching methods that they're going to employ, because they're going to have this training next month. So Mr. George Ayoma is a graduate with electrical and electronics engineer. Is a graduate electrical and electronics engineer from Technical University of Kenya. Is a TVET trainer at Ramogi Institute, Advanced Technology, with 2 years of experience as an electrical and electronics technician, and has more than 4 years as a trainer. He is also the coordinator of the Kisumu eCooking hubs, one of the hubs that were developed under MECS program. So we have 5 hubs so far, and we are yet to launch another one in Homa Bay. He's the coordinator of one of the hubs, which is based in Kisumu. So he has led successful training programs and contributed to projects in renewable energy and sustainable technologies, while also promoting e-cooking awareness. He's a registered engineer with the Kenya Engineers Board of Kenya, and he represented a paper on blockchain technology at Kisumu National Polytechnic's annual International Multidisciplinary Conference in 2024. George's expertise includes technical training, electronics repair, and renewable energy systems, and is dedicated to green technologies and circular economy. His dedication to green technologies and circular economy is evident in his professional and personal endeavors. So I would like to give this opportunity to George to take us through this course and also let us know how we can participate as people in the sector. So George, please take it away. I'll go to your slides in a bit.
Thank you much, Cyprus, for such a wonderful introduction. I hope I am audible.
Yeah, you are. Please go ahead.
Thank you very much. So I want to thank everyone for giving me this opportunity to present. I also want to thank Mr. Biraj for such an extensive work that you and your team have done in the field of promoting electric cooking. And I'm also grateful for the insightful research you presented. Indeed, they were eye-opening and I've learned a lot. I want to share with you that here in Kenya, we share the same challenges and the same opportunities as Nepal. And I see great opportunities for cross-learning and borrowing from each other. You've talked over the guides for repair that you've developed. Indeed, I've looked at them and they are quite helpful. Now let me go to my presentation today. I also want to present something on electric cooking device repair training. So I am affiliated with the Kisumu eCooking Hub that is currently located at Ramogi Institute of Advanced Technology. Ramogi Institute of Advanced Technology is a TVET institution in Kenya. So the Kisumu eCooking Hub is one of the centers of excellence where e-cooking agenda is championed in Kenya. We carry out awareness creation programs to sensitize the community on the need and the benefits of e-cooking. So we've been doing this for the last 3 years, and we have exciting success stories. Next slide. So our mission is to promote the sustainable adoption of e-cooking technologies. By encouraging the use of electric cooking methods, we aim to reduce environmental impact and improve energy efficiency and enhance overall quality of life. So we seek to do this through education, innovation, and collaboration. We seek to make it a viable and attractive option for Kenyan households and businesses. So some of the things we have done, some of the activities. If you can go to activities, next slide, please.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. So we train our students on e-cooking. We make them aware that e-cooking is a better alternative as a method of cooking because of the environmental, the cost factor, and even looking at the health. And they are able to do it practically and see how efficient and how cost effective it is. So that is one of our activities. REACT itself is an institution with over 4,000 students. So we try our best that the students that pass through REACT have a taste of what it means to cook with electricity in the right way. We also do community awareness programs, like what you can see in the picture there. That was a sensitization program in one of the local shows. The next slide, please. We also do training of champions who are able to continue to carry on the message of e-cooking and educate the community around about e-cooking. Thank you. Next slide. Yes, so this has been stressed enough by my colleague, Mr. Biraj, the need for reliable repair. In the course of our sensitization, we realized that repair is a major issue because an e-cooking gadget, just like any other gadget, they do break down, and when they break down, they need to be restored to a good working condition. And the absence of that may slow down the adoption of e-cooking and may lead to other problems such as accumulation of e-waste and so on. So repair is very key. Next slide, please. Yes. Now we realize that as a REACT, Ramogi Institute of Advanced Technology, we have all it takes to be able to train technicians who are able to carry out repair of electric cooking gadgets, because we have qualified staff on the same, and we also have equipment that can be able to do that. So when we realized that, we also crafted a short course that can train technicians on how to do repairs and how to restore electric cooking gadgets, be it the electric pressure cooker or the induction cookers and so on. Next slide, please. Next slide. Have you moved to the next slide? Hello, Cyprus, can you hear me?
Are you talking, George? Because I can't hear you.
I have paused a little bit as I wait for Cyprus to project the next slide.
Okay.
I believe she's working on it.
George. Yeah, I'm here. Apologies.
Yes. Thank you. Thanks for the feedback, Dorothy. In case you are not getting anything, please just give feedback. Yes. So we have worked in conjunction with the local repair technicians who have experience and have worked in the field for long to craft this course. We also worked with some manufacturers, and we also tapped in from our expertise to craft this course, and we believe it will produce technicians who are competent to repair these e-cooking gadgets. Next slide, please. So in the next slide, I would like to highlight that we have organized our inaugural training, which will be the first one. And this training will take place at the Ramogi Institute of Advanced Technology. It is going to be an hands-on course and practical oriented. And we'll also pass through some theories as well. And the big picture behind all this is to foster sustainable adoption of e-cooking technologies. Next slide, please. Yes, so the training is scheduled to run from 12th to 16th, 2024, August. It is going to take 5 days. And it is interesting that Mr. Biraj also noted that they recommend a 5 days training for technicians who are not so much well versed with the repair of electrical cooking gadgets. Next slide, please. Yes, let me just highlight some of the components of the course that we'll be going through. We'll take trainees through introduction to electric pressure cookers, because we can't assume that everybody is familiar with them and how they work. So we'll go through safety issues. We'll take them through the basics of electricity, the basics of electronics, where they will get to understand the the building blocks of electronic devices, such as the transistors, resistors, the FETs, the ICs, and all that. And after that, we'll take them through understanding the functionality of electric pressure cookers. And then we'll go through tools and equipments needed for repairs. And we'll also go through diagnostic procedures, the procedures for identifying a fault. Whenever a gadget is brought to you that is not working, how do you troubleshoot it to pinpoint where the problem is? Next slide, please.
Judge,
Yes.
on the next slide.
I can't see it yet, but if I can read it from my computer, I hope can everybody see the next slide? Cost components, part 2. Somebody to give a feedback, please.
Yes.
Okay.
Still part 1 for me.
Oh,
Now
thank
it's
you.
part 2.
Thank you. It's now part 2. So on the part 2,
Okay.
we are going to, we look at repair techniques, and then we'll also go through advanced troubleshooting, and then we'll also take them through preventative maintenance. And because we are training technicians whom we hope to practice out there in the field, we'll also take them through some legal and ethical issues. Back, please. Yes, some legal and ethical issues. You may not know, but there are a lot of ethical considerations to make when you're doing repair. For example, when you receive a gadget that has been brought to you as a technician that it has some faults, but then the gadget is still covered under some warranty, and the warranty, the warranty agreement states that it is only the distributor who is allowed to repair it within the period of the warranty. So as a technician, what do you do? Because when you touch it, you avoided the warranty. And then, so just to bring to your mind that there are some ethical considerations and legal considerations when doing repairs. So we also hope to take our technicians through that. And because we want to make it sustainable, we'll also highlight some business aspect of it, and customer service and communications. And then we look at case studies and practical applications. Next slide, please. So in the next slide, I'll say that the training that we have organized is only for 10 trainees. And so 10 trainees will not be enough for Kenya. We need many, many more competent and reliable repair technicians. So I want to appeal that let us work together towards a sustainable e-cooking solutions. We want to appeal to partners who can be able to support more trainings. It will be good for this transition. And another thing that I also want to echo my colleague Biraj talked about it as well. There is need for spare parts, especially for the parts that do commonly break down. So manufacturers should be encouraged to standardize parts, especially the parts that do break up often. And those standardized parts should be available. You know, some of these organizations, at times they may even be need to compel them through some legal framework to provide this, because some of them, because they are incentivized to sell more, when a device breaks down and it is not restored, to them it could be advantageous to them if it is not repaired and the consumer buys a new one. But at the end of the day, that is not sustainable for the environment, and it is demoralizing to the customers. So I believe there should be some discussion with the manufacturers to standardize parts and to make spare parts available. Yes, I believe that will be good. Otherwise, I want to thank you very much for your time. Back to you, Cyprus, maybe if there are any questions.
Yeah, thank you so much, George, and thank you, Biraj, for your presentation. Now I'd like to open the floor for questions. Irene Wanjohi from Kenya Power will be taking us through this session. Irene, please.
Good afternoon, everybody. Those were two very good presentations that are quite timely, because I think there are quite a few appliances in the market, and there's been a lot of cry about what to do with the ones that have fallen off, the ones that people do not know what to do on repair. So this is a really timely discussion, time to discuss this. Are there any questions, or can I start with some? Maybe I can start with some as people put up their hands. I've not seen any hand go up, but you can put up your hand if you have a question. Oh, okay, I can see one now. But I can ask one as Paul prepares to ask the question. And mine goes to Biraj. Biraj, as you introduced the subject, you talked about schools, that you have 20 schools that you have introduced to e-cooking. Maybe you can just tell us, as we go into discussions, as we discuss the, just a second, as we discuss the repairs, maybe you can just tell us how big are the appliances that the schools are using? Are they, what liter, how many liters are they using? And how welcome are they? Are they serving the purpose for those schools? Are they 8 schools? I think you said there were 8 schools that are now using electricity to cook their meals. What's the liter like? And have they needed any repairs? And if they have you managed to do that? Then the other question I had for you, Biraj, is you say that most people in the first, when they first went out to do they were given the appliances, when they got spoiled, they did nothing. They did not, when you went and did the survey, they did nothing. So my question is, what did they do nothing because when they were being given the either loans or the appliances, they were not told about repairs, or they did nothing because they didn't care? What happened? Why did they do nothing? Why? And then did they go back to their original cooking habits, or did they buy new appliances? What happened to those people? And then after that, after he answers, we will have Paul. Thank you.
Thank you, Irene, for the questions. For your questions related to schools. So actually, so that's also same in Kenya. I was reading some blogs from MECS on the midday meal program. So in the midday meal program, so in Nepal also there is a midday meal program, and so we did some of the surveys in the schools. Like schools were using mostly liquefied LPG and firewood. So we saw like schools were spending about like 100 to 300, so $250 per month, depending on the school size and other things on cooking. So we introduced this electric cooking. Basically, we mostly introduced, in all the schools, we introduced the induction stoves, but we have also planned to introduce the electric pressure cooker. So in the induction stoves, it is a 3.5 kilowatt system. So normally the induction stoves we use in the households, a single burner is a maximum 2 kilowatt system, but the more, commercial one is 3.5 kilowatt, 5 kilowatt system. So we have introduced 3.5 kilowatt system. And in the cookware side, so depending on the size of the students, we have introduced from 10 liter. So we have introduced pressure cookers and also big beans to cook, rice, lentils, and all those kind of things. So pressure cooker is the 20 liters, and also other beans are 30 to 45 liters that can support up to 80 to 90 or 100 students, depending on what they cook and so how they cook. So we have also supported like 2 stoves in each school so that they can do simultaneous cooking. We did this first in no October 2023, and we went back to the schools again in March 2024 to understand how it is supporting. Out of 8, 6 schools were using electric cooking for all their cooking. 2 schools, like one schools, had to shift their kitchen, so they did not use until they will not use until they shift the kitchen. And another school, they did not continue providing the midday meal. So that's why 6 schools were using, and savings were like 60 to 70 percentage of their monthly expenses. So that's why it has been quite a good a thing for the schools. But again, we also try to understand if other schools nearby have purchased these things in their own, that we did not see. And we also have plans to do more in the future. So that's the school things. If we buy the electric pressure cooker, MEX has done very good research on the supply side, and there are the technology available in the Chinese market from 30 liter to 42 liters, so which are very good and sufficient to 100 students. So that's what we see, and we can import them from China. We have not tried that in Nepal. So regarding your second question on the what the households did, so basically the community we surveyed did not have any repair center. So that's why. So and another thing I wanted to highlight is even though we are promoting electric cookers, so they don't transit 100% to the electricity. So that's what our experience is. So that's why whenever we are promoting electric stoves, we are trying to make it as a primary stove. Still, they can use either LPG or fuel wood depending on the places, because some of the places are very cold regions where people also need this firewood burning for the space heating and other things. So these people, they did not do anything, but after providing this training, so we heard from the repair centers that they have already maintained around 18 or 19 stops. So that's a very good result. So what we heard from the repair center last week. So previously they did not buy any new stove, but they went back to their traditional cooking. But now they are also fixing the stoves in their local areas. That means that the repair centers works and people bring that to the repair centers. Another thing we observed, as I said, some of the repairs that can be done within $4 in Kathmandu, like people from the rural areas had to pay around $9 to $10 for the same repairs. That's why also we are also, working with the other practitioners. So we have planned another meeting next week. So we wanted to discuss how to reduce this repair cost so that the affordability of repair remains there. So that's what we are doing. I hope I covered your question.
Thank you, Biraj. Thank you for that. Maybe we can have Paul now ask a question.
Good afternoon. Thanks, Irene. Mine will just be a short clarification, not question per se. I was just asking from George Riat on the modalities of him identifying the number of students who will be taking the course, the short course, the 5-day course, and if there's consideration of identifying like incubation hubs that are upcoming to present at least one student who's willing to attend that particular course. And for Viraj, my question would be, he talked about the schools. if you could just clarify the number of students in the schools, because if you look at the Kenyan system, we have an incubation hub in Busia that hosts about 800 students. What kind of EPC or gadget would you advise for that kind of school to be using? Thank you. Back to you, Irene.
George, you can answer first. George, just answer first, then after that we can have Biraj. George?
It's okay, thank you. My network was breaking there a little bit, but let me try to answer according to the part that I got, the modalities of identifying the 10 students that we are going to train. On that, I can say that the course is open. Everyone is welcome to participate and undertake the course. So if you are in the eCooking community of practice WhatsApp, we are going to post a link for applying to the course. So MECS has sponsored a training for 10 participants, but RERL as an institution has got the capacity to train even more. So we are not limiting to only the 10. The only thing is that because it is a new course, maybe, but there is need for sensitization and maybe a bit of support or sponsorship to the trainees to help them uptake the course. And then I can see also in the comment section, in the chat section, somebody asked something related to that, and I hope that is answered. I am also seeing some other questions in the chat section. Maybe I'll come in later to give answers to that.
Okay, Biraj, maybe you can answer, then we will take all the questions and then we'll now divide them as we are. Just answer that one first, Biraj.
So regarding the school question, so in our case, we have covered the students from the schools that having about, so I don't remember the exact number, but around 100 to around 456 or something students having different numbers of students. So before deciding which technology we use, we had a pre-assessment, like what kind of food they cook, or like how many people and what amount of food they cook, and this kind of different information we had collected. And based on that, for our this pilot 80 schools, we thought like this induction stove will be right. But if we go to Western Nepal, so the rice eating habit is quite common. So if we are cooking more rice, then electric pressure cooker would be more interesting because it is the more efficient and also very easy to cook. And also we don't need to buy different cookwares in that case. So then what kind of equipment? So in this case, like what I suggested, there are like different kind of technology available in the induction stove. Also, there are technology available. 3.5 kilowatt, 5 kilowatt, 6 kilowatt technologies, and also single phase, three phase systems. So we need to decide if the school has three phase connection, we can still buy the three phase stove, because three phase means they are more durable and can run longer in one time. So that is also one of the things we need to be very careful, because these stoves need to be cooled down always, and there are mostly two fans in these commercial stoves. So then they can run 2 to 3 hours without any problem. So that's why also we need to see like how long will we be cooking. So these are the few things we need to decide. And MECS has also done, done some good data based on this, electric pressure cookers and all these things. So that's from where we learn and we executing in that case also. My suggestion is we need to do little bit research and what kind of food we are cooking and how many number of students. So based on that, we can decide. In our case, we also gave like multiple stoves so that they can do simultaneous cooking. For example, if one stove can cook for 150 students, then two stoves can cook 300 students at one go. And if it is an electric pressure cooker, we can have like 2-3 different stoves. There are also, bigger appliances available in the market, but they are a little bit expensive. So we want it to be economic as well. That's why we did not go over a very expensive technology.
Dorothy, I think you had your hand up first. We can ask the questions. We'll ask all of them, about maybe 3 questions. Then after that, we can go back to, we can now have them answered. So Dorothy, please ask your question.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Biraj and George. Those have been wonderful presentations. I wanted to find out from Biraj, you talked about distributing about 4,000 units of EPC so far. Are they both on-grid appliances or off-grid as well? And how many technicians have you trained for the different locations? Because I believe you must have worked in quite an extensive area. So from your research or study, how many technicians would serve a region well, and how do you train them then to handle both the solar products and the on-grid electric products? And then I would also like to know how you manage to handle the supply chain of the different regions to make sure that no one is not being served because of spare part issues. And then lastly, what are your lessons on gender inclusion in the work of repairs? Thank you.
Thank you,
So,
Dorothy.
sorry, Suraj.
Biraj, let's take all of them first, then we can answer them, so that we take care of time. So maybe we'll ask John to also ask. Paul, is that a new hand or the old one? So John, please ask your question.
Hey, I'm going to be a bit cheeky because I have one of my own questions, but I also had a couple of questions that Richard Cephas has asked me to
I've seen
drop
the
into
one
the
you've
conversation.
written. I've seen the ones you've written.
Yeah.
I've taken them down. So if you have any other added ones.
No, it's just those ones. So if you want to do those ones separately, that's fine.
Okay, and then I'll do those ones together with these ones. Then Rocio, I don't know if I'm pronouncing your name right.
Yes.
Rocio, is there any other question apart from the one you've written here?
Yeah, I just, can you hear me? Because I'm never sure if you can.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay.
We can hear you.
Yes, I have a very fundamental question. I don't know what a repair center is, literally. How, the thing about repairs is that to make a sustainable business out of repairing things that break down, the things need to break down, right? And we don't want that. So what is a repair center? I literally do not know, because, and this is related to Dorothy's question, at what point, how many EPCs or induction stoves or whatever appliance we are talking about, is it worth having as a repair center? It is a very fundamental business question that I have for everyone that is trying to understand how to make the after sales part of the value chain work. These people need to earn money, right? So you have the perverse incentive that you want to have very bad appliance deployed, so they keep breaking down, and then the technicians can, leave of making repairs, which we don't want that, right? So if we do go for the right option where we are selling appliances, because most of us here are retailers, right? If we are selling good quality appliances, those will break very infrequently, right? And then how many but they still break. There is always a percentage of things that go wrong. So at what point, how many EPCs or induction stoves do we need to have deployed to start thinking of setting up a repair center? And who is better placed to set up a repair center? What is a repair center? It's a very fundamental question that I don't understand, because it has to make money. It has to be sustainable. I leave it there.
That's a heavy question, and a question that actually needed to be asked. I think together with your question, Rosie, the other question is the technicians that are trained, do they get certification, or how do I know that the person coming to repair my me taking my appliance to this person, that the person is certified and it's not a quack repairing how do you get to know that those people are actually trained? So it's a very heavy question, and I don't know how we'll answer this one, but let me just divide these questions so that we tackle all of them together. So there's that question, the latest one that Rosie has asked. I think you've all heard. I don't want to go into it. I don't know whether Biraj, you can tackle that. What's a repair center? And then add on to that, who does a certification? How do we get to know that these people are actually certified, and do we actually need those people? And then add on to that, there was something she had written on the chat about, is it Biraj? Is it Rosie who had written? Something you had written about, I'm trying to look for it, about who should repair. Should it be the manufacturers? Should it be the retailers, or should it be a center? So that is something else we need to tackle. Or is there a gap? Are we seeing a gap, and that is where we are coming to this? Maybe it's something also that we need to repair. Maybe John, you also need to tell us, why are we taking this subject? Is it? Yes, you can take it up, George.
This is
one,
George,
and
able to
yes,
spin?
Yes, take
Yes,
this
thank you
up.
very
But
much. So,
let me just give you another one, George, so that when
yes.
you finish that one, you also answer this other one of whether there's any possibility of the money coming down from 30,000. Can it come down to anything less, so that the people are able to afford to come to the training? So just answer those two first, George.
Yes, thank you very much. So on the first question, who does the repair, and under what model will it be viable for this person to do a repair for these eCooking gadgets? I mean, how many should be breaking down annually to make it sustainable? Let me try to chip in that, is that whether it is electric pressure cooker or an induction cooker, all of them are electrical or electronic devices. And there are a lot of things they share in common. So a person who is able to successfully repair an electric pressure cooker or an induction pressure cooker is competent to repair a lot of different kinds of electrical gadgets. So these are electrical repair shops. They only need to be sharpened or to be brought on board to be able to repair these eCooking gadgets. And now, to make it sustainable, this person doesn't have to be narrowing down to only repairing the electrical pressure cooker. Somebody able to repair electrical pressure cooker can repair an electrical kettle, can repair even the radio set, the TV sets, and so on. So it is a very viable business. That is what I can say to that. And as to a certificate, I want to say that a certificate would be necessary so that you can be able to identify quacks and really trained technicians. And again, I know when you talk of certificates, you also talk about who will be the enforcing authority, and that one will now differ from country to country. But I want to say that even apart from certificates, there are means through which already consumers can know credible repair technicians and the ones which are not credible. If you have an electrical device that has broken down and you need it repaired, there is a way you will identify credible repair shops, and I mean those are ones which you have termed quacks. And then on the cost, yes, the cost can come down. I know the 30,000 Kenyan shillings seems to be much, but then if you look at it, that this is a technical training, it needs to be hands-on. You'll need to work on real equipment and those other things. But the short answer for your question is that it is possible to bring the cost down. Maybe we can, you can side chat me on that. Maybe we can see how to discuss that. And somebody also asked something on this ethical question of it is not a big problem because these warranties are usually very limited. Most electronic devices, their warranty go for like 1 year or thereabout. Rarely do they go beyond that. And in most cases, they don't break down within the period of warranty, only in rare occasions. And now, in such scenarios, there may be ethical considerations to make. Maybe somebody has just bought a device and maybe they have not even used it and it is not working well. So knowing that the consumer can have it repaired for free repaired or replaced for free by the vendor, an ethical person may advise them to do that. But in some cases, it might not even be feasible to take it back to the manufacturer or the vendor to repair it. The cost of taking it back might be more. So there are no hard rules on this. It is all about being honest with the consumer so that they make informed choices. Thank you.
George, maybe before you go, there are a few questions that have just been posted for you on the chat. One is whether the course is inclusive of solar PCs, and then people are also asking how they can register for the course. The other one is you mentioned that you included manufacturers.
Yes.
So the question is how you are able to do that. How are you able to were you able to encourage the manufacturers to come on board? And were they concerned about trained technicians and you invade in their space? Please answer those ones and we can go to Biraj.
Yes, thank you very much. So, most consumers, before they buy something, they may ask, now, in case it breaks down, where will I take it to be repaired? So the existence of repair may also encourage an adoption of a technology. So it is also in the interest of these manufacturers for there to be repair technicians who are able to repair their gadgets. So not all of them are resistant to the idea of their gadgets being repaired by external third-party repair technicians. And where we linked up with them, we met in the eCooking community of practice, and it is John who linked me with this, who linked us with this particular manufacturers, and we shared about how to repair their particular EPCs, but these EPCs, they have a lot in common. So some of these manufacturers are very much willing and open to the idea of third-party repair technicians working on their EPCs, because to them the business side of employing their own repair technician in every region, in every part of this world, is more headache to them than having third-party and competent repair technicians who are able to work on their EPCs. And then on the, I just want to mention that RIAT as an institution is also offering training on solar installation. So we also train solar installation technicians, whether it be solar PV or solar water heating technology. But at the moment, solar for cooking, there are still some technological gaps there. Yes, it is there, but the cost is not viable. Because one thing about cooking is that it takes a lot of current at once, and most affordable batteries do not perform well when you draw large current at once. So that is why you are seeing that solar electric cookers, they have not so much penetrated the market, because there still needs for more technological breakthroughs in that area. But we do train on solar separately, and now we have begun training on how to repair electrical cooking gadgets, but those are two separate trainings. And how to apply to the course. Once again, we are going to send a link to the community of practice and the details on how to apply to the course. Thank you.
Thank you, George. We're going to come back to you with I think 2 more questions. But before that, I want to ask Biraj some questions that are there for you. One of them is, John says that he loves your manual and how it's open source. And the question is, how do you see it evolving over time? And how do you see you learning, maybe organization learning from other organizations such as RIAT that has just shared today? And how will you capture their learnings into maybe to add to your manual? And then the other question for Biraj is from Dorothy, where she was saying that she noticed you've done 4,000 units of EPCs. And then she was asking whether they're on the grid or they're off the grid. And how many technicians do you think have you trained, and how many do you think are sufficient to be able to take care of these EPCs in case they start breaking down? And whether whether they were all grid or solar, that is, I think, about. And then how do you handle your supply chain? Are there lessons learned in gender, especially for the technicians? Are there, I think it was more on gender balance. Have you involved the gender, the other gender? I saw some ladies there, so I guess you have. I think those were all for Biraj, the ones I captured.
So, okay, so the first, John. So thank you, John, for this question. And I know, like, you are one of our mentors, like, who provided
Biraj,
us.
let me add one. Yes, Biraj, please. Before I forget it. You mentioned about lack of you were not, they were not able to repair because they did not have the parts. How are you able to encourage the people to get spare parts? Were you able to, and are you able now to get enough spare parts? I think that's it. Thank you.
So yeah, John, like, so you are one of our mentors, like, who supported us to start learning on electric cooking, and we have been doing since then. So coming back to how do we, so I think the repair manuals we developed were based on like research inputs from Nepal-based experts, practitioners, and advocates. And when we were finalizing these things, we still realized like this is a mobile document now. We have started it, and there will be more and more things might come in the future that needs to be incorporated. And since REACT is already doing these things, I think like the experiences they will have when they use these repair manuals, and also that should be integrated in these things. As I said, like it is a open source, and so this was funded by MECS, and so like React is also funded by MECS, so it can be a uh, one document. As always, there is a we are open for that, and we are happy to work together to improve wherever we need to improve in these manuals. So for now, it is just at least we have started, and there are lots of good information for the repair technicians who can look at this book and do the repairs, because we saw many repair centers so who do not have. So this they muted me. So that's why I think so we are open for that. So coming back to the questions on the repair and trainings and maintenance. So we saw like in Nepal, we have been observing different things, whether so the first thing is like whoever is the manufacturer or like importer of the electric stoves, because in Nepal we don't have any manufacturing companies, all 100% stoves are imported. So it is their responsibility at the beginning, but the pace of implementation is happening everywhere, and these manufacturers, they are little bit reluctant to set up the repair centers everywhere. So they have the repair centers in the cities. That's why we had to come out and we had to think about how do we intervene so that the cooking overall cooking experience will be better. That's why we have started this training initially. So there were some experiment training some like fresh people, but then again as Rocio mentioned, like the supply of the supply of the broken stove versus the job and income and all these things. That's why we have started uh, providing trainings to those who have already uh, repair shops. That is the most efficient and most impactful way of doing. So as I said earlier, those peoples who have some sort of repair shops, they are already providing repair services to stocks, and that has been a really good experience we have been observing. So regarding the certification, yeah, it is. So now we are providing the certification, but we are not, authorized, people who provide the certification. That's why in the next step we wanted to make the institutionalization of repair maintenance, so that these vocational institutes, they keep these repair modules in their syllabus, and when these peoples go out and they start providing the certification, that will be the formal education from the TEVT. That's what the next step we have thought for the certification things. And for the spare parts things, so previously it was huge challenges, and what we did is we went through the market shops and everywhere and tried to identify different uh, shops that deals with the spare parts. So we have prepared a list of spare parts suppliers who are based in Kathmandu. Now, whenever we do the trainings, and also we have provided those informations to other institutions as well, they can share this list of shops that sells the spare parts, and these people who are these repairer who are staying far from Kathmandu can directly contact these spare parts supplier, and they can discuss. And so there is like some mechanisms to send those spare parts to those remote locations. That's what we have done, and it has worked quite well. So coming back to Dorothy, so actually in Nepal, we have very less solar mini-grid electrified areas. Whenever I said the off-grid areas, those are electrified from the micro hydro projects. Those are small hydro projects like 50 kilowatt, 100 kilowatt, 150 kilowatt. So, whenever we provide training, so it is most likely that the main operator of those uh, micro hydropower plants, if they train, then they can do both the jobs. They can also look at the repair and maintenance of the micro hydro plants, and also they can also support with the repair and maintenance of electric stores. That's what we see, and that has been working quite well. And when coming back to the on-grid areas, so there are two different aspects in the training, including women in our training. One, so we are trying to motivate, if they are interested, to the women from the existing repair shops. For example, the husband is doing the repair until now, so they have already established repair center. But we are, encouraging, you know, men and women both, husband and wife attend our training, or like wife attend our training. When she goes back to home, then she start, maintaining these things. So that's why, like, slowly releasing the repair responsibility of husband to women. That's like one thing we see might work. And one of the cases, it has worked. And another, so we have chosen both men and women who have already some sort of basic electrical training in the training. And for the women especially, we have provided additional tools and also supported some initial investment to set up the repair shops. So in the initial condition, repair shop only might not be able to provide sufficient earning. That's why we also need to look at the different earning source. So in the capacity building part, how do we suggest those women to diversify their income source so that they keep maintaining, repairing the electrical appliances, and also do some other things as well. That's what we have been doing. So in terms of supply of the technology, so there are like three major, things that is in practice in Nepal. One is result-based financing. I think that is also in practice in Kenya through NDA program. I don't know if it is now or not, but there was result-based financing that by private sector promoting electric cookie stoves in different communities. And another is through the cooperatives. There are like lots of saving and credit cooperatives in Nepal. So one of the programs that are promoting electric stoves through these cooperatives, because these cooperatives are based in the rural areas and they have lots of members who regularly do business with the cooperatives. And another is, connecting the wholesalers with the rural village-based, village-based retailers. So connecting the wholesalers and retailers is also another way. In this case, sometimes wholesaler might be a little bit reluctant to give the um, thing to give the stocks in the dues. In that case, the project like us do some sort of guarantees and support them. Support them getting connected and selling and all those things. So these are the mainly three ways of practice in Nepal. So another is the government is doing. Government is normally gives free of cost to the users. That's like the fourth way. That's what we do. I hope like I covered the questions I
Thank you, Biraj.
asked to me.
Thank you, Biraj. Thank you very, very much. I want to end this session of questions with just one that we're going to be thinking about, typed there by Nick Russo, where he said, has anyone found This one we are not going to answer, we're just going to think about it. Has anyone found that the number of repairs needed can be reduced by giving advice stroke training to users about how they use or clean their appliances, e.g. We were thinking how to appliances, e.g. when how to prevent cockroaches getting inside, you know, that kind of thing, because cockroaches really love EPCs, hiding inside the EPCs. So this one I'm not going to ask anyone to answer, but it's something that George and Biraj, who are in this section, need to think about, maybe adding to their talk or next time we meet. I now want to hand over, and I really, really want to thank you, George and Biraj. I have learned a lot personally. I'm taking a lot away with me. And if we've not answered any of your questions, please forgive us. Time has just gone out. It's run away from us. I want to hand over the meeting back to Cyprus. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Irene, for that wonderful session. Thank you, George and Biraj, for responding to all the questions that we've had on the chat and also that have been raised on this platform. I've seen a number of people have already dropped off, but I also understand because we've gone over time. But again, this is a really important conversation that we're having today. This some like one of those critical issues that has been raised over and over because we want people to adopt these appliances and to adopt electric cooking and to transition from the use of biomass. But again, issues of cost have been an hindrance, and we don't want to be adding to that by not being able to provide solutions to these appliances when they're broken down. So I think this was really, really a timely conversation, as Irene had mentioned initially, that we needed to have. And it's really important that we train more technicians so that we have this issue resolved, especially around the communities we're working with and also whichever area we're working at. So thank you so much, Biraj. I've shared the reports that you mentioned on the electric appliance repair. So I've shared the one on induction cookstoves, and I've also shared one on the EPC. So I hope you, everyone on this platform is able to see, but we'll also share this through email so that everyone is able to see those reports. I've also shared the training advert that was shared by Riyadh. So I hope you will get more information on that link. And in case you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us and George. We will provide more details on that as well. But yeah, I think I'll encourage everyone, if you have any technical in your teams, please sign them up for the training so that we have more and more people knowing how to support this so that we reduce this issue and we are able to help our communities and help people transition and also reduce on the e-waste. So with that said, I would like to thank you all for staying this long. It was really, really useful conversation, and we look forward to seeing you in our next dialogue. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.